Hello everyone, so today's video is going to be about Diana Davis. Now, I learned about her case through, the channel name is Derek Levasseur. He's a co-host of Crime Weekly with Stephanie Harlow, and he has his own separate channel, which is just his name, Derek Levasseur, and he has a little tidbit on there called Detective Perspective, and I'm fairly certain that this is where I saw her case. Actually, I'm fairly certain, yes. And when looking into her case, it was just incredibly sad. And Diana seemed like a really lovely lady, and I just want to talk about her case and bring it to light. And that's what we're going to be doing today. All the links that I used for research will be down below, like always. I do highly recommend Derek Levasseur's channel as well as Crime Weekly. But that being said, let's go ahead and get into this. So, Diana was an avid gardener and would tend to her vegetables at Tacoma's Proctor Community Garden. This does take place in Washington State, by the way. She was a 50-year-old mother of two and a free spirit, and she always lived life to its fullest. And you're definitely going to see that in the photos that I show you. I don't think there's not one where she's not smiling this beautiful giant smile. Like, she just seems like a lovely person. And you can definitely tell just like how free she seems. So Diana worked as a caregiver in Tukwila, and she lived part-time in Auburn and Tacoma. Police said that she left her home in Auburn to tend to her garden in Tacoma on July 27, 2020. She then went to a small hardware store in Tacoma for about 45 minutes and left without buying anything. Then she drove to an area near Lumen Field in Seattle where her cell phone signal was last located. And when I was looking for photos to use in this case or this video, there is like a little maps of all the locations that she went to and like how long it would have taken her to do all this. And I will have that screenshot right now or at some point in the video when I'm editing. You will see that. So I can kind of give you an idea of like just where she was if you're not familiar with Washington, and hopefully that will help you. So by evening, her cell phone was turned off. On July 29th, police said her car was found burning in an alley in Tacoma with her purse inside. Soon, detectives realized that her family had already filed a missing persons report. They searched for her for days until August 5th, when her body was found buried. Her body was found buried in the woods at, I'm so sorry if I pronounced this wrong, Snoqualmie Pass. Her body was so decomposed that it took several days for a positive identification to be done on the body, and eventually it did come back as Diana. And forensic analysis found that she died from multiple blunt force injuries to her face. And this is a quote from Detective Jack Nasworthy, and he says, "This person went through a lot of effort to cover up this crime. Not only did they take her out into the woods, bury her in a place where they probably didn't think she'd ever be located, but they also went through the effort to burn her car to hide evidence. That's not something you're going to see usually in a random crime." End quote. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because of what I'm about to tell you, and it's probably going to be part of my thoughts when we get to the ending of this video. You're going through the effort of killing someone, first of all, burying their body in a secluded area, and then burning their car. I mean, you could just be a very thorough person trying to cover up your tracks, but it doesn't feel random. Random crimes feel more reckless than this, and they were really trying to cover up their steps. And now we're going to get into why I added that quote in the first place. So her loved ones aren't sure why she even traveled to Seattle from Tacoma, but Jack Nasworthy, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, says that they found out through their investigation that Diana did meet men on dating websites, and their theory is that she arranged to meet someone in Seattle when she vanished. He said that Washington State Patrol helped discover partial evidence of a male suspect. Through search warrants, Nasworthy said that his team contacted at least one dating website, but her last login was more than a month prior to her disappearance. As of now, no one has been charged with the crime and no other information is available. And other than a phone number, that is all the information I have for you on Diana Davis's case. So, I was not able to find the name of this male suspect or of any of the other men she might have met with. But yeah, I definitely think that has a very big part in what happened to her. So, my opinion is that maybe she was talking to someone pretty regularly, and maybe that's why she hadn't logged in a while. I think it was like a month that she hadn't logged in, like I just said. And maybe she just was kind of seeing where this one went, so she wasn't logging in. And perhaps this is someone that maybe she had an argument with. Maybe they were becoming a little too much. Maybe they were a little obsessive with her. Or maybe something just happened where she met them in Seattle that day. They lured her out there for whatever reason, maybe. And they decided to harm her, whether they had planned it or it was like in the moment kind of thing. I definitely think it would have been one of the men that she was talking to on these dating websites, or maybe the last man she talked to. Like I said, it had been a minute since she had contacted anyone or got onto that website. So I think it was definitely a man that she was last with, that she had probably been talking to for a while, and I think he went through this to try to cover his tracks. I don't think it's weird that her family members weren't sure why she was in Seattle. I mean, if it's not something that's very serious, you're probably not telling your family about it. But I just feel like no matter how old you are, even if you're oh, this person is in their 50s like me, what would they do? You don't know people on the internet. Just to be safe, I would tell someone I've been talking to this person. I might go meet them. I'm just letting you know who they are, just to be on the safe side, because you never know what could happen. And if that's the case in the situation where she met this person and they did something to her, maybe if her family had known, they would have had a name or something to give to the police from the get-go. I don't know. I just think that to be on the safe side, if you are ever going to meet somebody, no matter how early it is in the relationship, please always tell someone who you're going to be with and where. But with that being said, that is my theory on what happened to Diana, is that it was probably a weirdo from a dating website. You really can't trust people from dating websites. There's a lot of creepy stories. But I just want to say to her family, if they come across this, I am so sorry about what happened to Diana. Just looking at her photos and hearing about her, she seemed like she was vibrant and full of life, and she just radiated such warm energy. And I can't believe that somebody just took her away from you and took her away from the world, because she seemed like such a shining light. And I hope that soon information is released and they have a suspect and someone is arrested, um, and she's finally put to rest, and there's justice for her case. But thank you guys so much for listening to this video. Please let me know your thoughts down below. Please be respectful. But that's going to be all for me today, guys. Thank you so much for listening to Diana's story, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye, guys.